Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Keeping It Real with Mary and our new co host, Mr. Charles Thorne. Today is the 6th of September 2021. It's Monday, and let us bring in Mr. Charles. Good morning, Charles.
Good
How are you
morning.
this morning?
Good. I am wonderful. Giving thanks and praise for a new day.
Amen to that. Amen to that. We have sunshine greeting us on this beautiful morning. Of course, the sun would have risen here in Barbados. Others might now be
It's
going
a bit of,
down. Some are in the afternoon, some are in the evening.
that's very
So
true.
we're happy to be here this morning. And
That's
we
very true.
we have this fresh new young face that's joining the team, and we hope that a lot of folks enjoy the little intro that we have because we are going to be revamping, we are going to be reinventing the show. We've got little snippets coming on, and Charles is going to have a little segment called, I think it's going to be, we're going to leave that out a little bit, but we know what it's going to be about. And we hope folks will continue to look up to see what we're going to be doing coming next week. Now, we want to highlight some things which Charles and I might have touched on briefly, maybe over the week or so. But one of the things I want to bring forth this morning, it brought to our attention that the Barbados secondary school examination results are coming out today. So we want folks to remember to follow the press briefing. I think it's going to be at 10 a.m. this morning.
10 o'clock this morning. Yeah.
Yeah, and the Minister of Education, Science and Technology would be giving that report. That would be Miss Sancha Bradshaw. And of course, we want to wish all of our family and friends, as we would say over yonder in the United States of America, what do we say? It's Happy Labor Day for them today. Today is the 6th of September for them, and it's usually carnival.
Party!
Yeah. So, unfortunately, we know they're not partying today. They're going to have their indoor barbecues going on, and
Oh,
of course socially distance
that's right.
themselves and that kind of stuff. So we want folks to learn a little bit about Charlie. We used to nickname him Charlie Brown. So the folks get a little familiar with Charles. Sir Charles, Prince Charles, give the folks a little tidbit about yourself so that they become comfy with us as we continue our morning programs.
Well, I born and bred in Barbados. I grew up in Brazil, St. Michael. I have two sisters. Her name is Samantha. Um, I have been in the industry, in the airline industry now for over 25 years. Um, I've been a travel agent. Um, then I left being a travel agent. I worked with Virgin Atlantic. From there, I was a service manager at Transatlantic Air. Um, then I left Transatlantic Air. I was working for a UK travel operator called ITC. Then I left and went to Turks and Caicos, working for 5, 6 months, station manager there. I was there until COVID hit. So I'm not back home um, with my family. Um, it's good being back home with my family. Those 5 months away from my family, not able to see the family, it's not good. Um, my mom is still here with me. My dad, he passed about 7 years ago. He was my best friend. But yeah, my mom is still alive. 80 and still looking young, and we thank God every day for our lives. Um, my wife and I give thanks every day for life and new ventures, new hopes, new dreams, and I just hope that what's happening around us today with COVID, um, you know, it does get better because it's not what's here. We just have to give thanks, pray to God, and we'll be all right.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, Charles. And for those who may not know, we both are from an industry that is looking to revamp as well. And we're hoping that it catches itself back up because it's unfortunate to say that that's the revenue that the country needs. And you and I know what it's like working in the travel industry, be it within the airline or be it within a travel agency. We know the importance that tourism has played within the economy of Barbados. And what's your take on how things would change when it comes to travel, because we're seeing a big change. And for the folks out there who may not know, yesterday's record for COVID tests was at 101 in Barbados, and that was a recorded for the 4th of September with 500 plus in isolation. With COVID 19, what's your take on how you think travel will be in the next couple of
Well,
months?
when you look at the numbers, 500 plus is not much when you compare to like the US and Europe.
Mm-hmm,
But for
mm-hmm,
us as a small nation, it is a lot, and it's just for us to do what is right, you know, adhere
mm-hmm,
to protocols, and I must say that we here in Barbados, we should take the vaccine. Yes, we know the vaccine would not stop you getting COVID, but it minimizes the higher risk that you will be exposed to.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Saying that, I believe that it should not affect tourism. Because and they have to adhere to their protocols. So for us here as a nation, we need the tourists to come to Barbados, and I guess for us the numbers are frightening, yeah,
Yes. Mm-hmm,
but we got to bounce back to get better from here. To know that within ourselves.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
All we need to do is just adhere to protocols, wear your mask, sanitize, social distance. Yes, we in the Caribbean like to party, but you know, life as we see it now has changed over the last year, and the partying and the socialization it is now to a minimum. You know, so life can still be happy without the partying. Those big groups. But
mm-hmm.
once you adhere to the protocols, so wear your mask, sanitize, and I would like to emphasize, please take the vaccine. Different. We're now the child. You gotta take vaccine for flu, measles, all these things, and we are still alive here today. So take the vaccine. You know, social media, a lot of things going on social media that change our our minds, you know. But you know, let's take the vaccine, then we will be good.
Yeah. And I think, Charles, a lot of people are saying that if you don't know about something, especially the vaccine, it's always recommended that you speak with your general practitioner. Um, there was an incident where a young lady passed away last week or week before, and I think she was 30 plus, not an old girl. She's not as young as we are. Let me just put it that
I'm so young, okay?
way. So she was she passed away,
Yeah,
and
my
she
condolences to the family.
yeah, she passed away, and of course the rumor went streaming. Oh, we know how the communities are in Barbados, that she passed away from taking the vaccine. Later on, a couple days after, one of the family members put up a post where it's a GoFundMe page, and on that they write up something about the individual, and thereafter at the bottom the family is asking individuals to refrain from commenting that she died from the vaccine because she never had the vaccine. Then they went on to
Wow.
say that she died from COVID-19.
Yeah. You know, I think there was a report from the Ministry of Health that said that out of the persons that are isolated,
Mm-hmm.
um, subject to correction, but I think it's between 85 and 90% of the persons isolated are not vaccinated. You
Yes,
know,
that's correct. That's correct. That's correct. That's correct. So I think what individuals out there need to
you know.
realize, if you don't know something, don't say nothing. I think that's the
Yeah,
important thing.
yeah, I think people have a tendency to listen to hearsay, as you put it.
Yes.
And
Yes.
by the time it gets to 10 people, that story has changed so many times.
Oh man. Yes, definitely, definitely. And we have to
And
realize
it's
that when we
gone to
say,
proportion.
yeah,
Yeah.
when we say things like that, it affects a family that is now grieving, and
Yeah.
you don't need to say those
Correct.
things, especially if they don't know anything about the individual or the family. And she has a little girl who's 11 years old. So, you know,
Yeah.
you don't go about saying those things like that. That's a very, very sad thing to be doing at this point
It
in
is
time.
sad. It is
Yeah,
sad.
yeah.
But that's the society we live in. That's where we live in today. So,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. So, the folks who are joining us and coming on, just to let you know, we have Mr. Charles Thorne, our new co host for Keeping It Real. I realize some folks are coming on, and the joke is going to be, oh, Charles is doing the same thing that Lionel did. Now, wherever Charles is the difficulty with the internet. So, he may jump out, but not go and leave us. That's the only joke.
No, I don't go anywhere yet.
He's with us, but it's just where he is in terms of the Wi-Fi connectivity and the internet. So folks, if you don't feel
Hi,
any way
Mary.
about,
I think I lost you again.
no, I'm still here, Charles. We're still here. We're still here.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, definitely. I can hear you.
Yeah, we lost. I'm
You
not
can't
here
hear me?
again.
Oh, there. I can hear you though. I can hear you.
Wait, hold on a second. I think I know what happened. Hold on.
Okay, folks, as I said, we're sorry about that. Where Charles is for sure, definitely is where he is picking up on his Wi-Fi and internet. Ah, we've got him back. There you are. You can hear me?
Yeah, I think my headphones disconnected. Hold on.
Okay, okay. Now,
Yeah. Can you hear me?
yeah, yeah, definitely. I can hear you loud and clear. Loud and clear. We can hear
Yeah, I
you.
think my headphones. A call came through just now and knocked out my headset.
Ah, technology for you. Technology for you.
Technology.
Now, we were talking about people dying, unfortunately, with what's happening around us. Something that came up when I made a visit to one of our business entrepreneur individuals. It's a lot mouthful. And for Barbadians who might not know, we presently have the census ongoing in Barbados. Now, I'm sure I know what the census is, and I know, I think Charles knows what the census is as well. Let's enlighten the
Oh
folks what the
yes.
census is about. Let's tell them what it's about.
Well, the census is basically a program where individuals go around seeing who get ages of people, males or females. Um, if you're working, not working, you know, who's the head of the household, um, who's bringing the income, how many children you have, how much dependents you have.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's basically getting an update on the records for the government.
Mm-hmm. And do they realize that if a census is done, that the government is better able to budget,
That's
to know
correct. Yep,
to know how many people are out of jobs and where they need to rectify those areas to provide jobs for them? Do they know that it's important for them to know who pays national insurance from who doesn't? Do people know that national insurance is required to pay their pension, is required to pay their maternity benefit, is required to pay their sick leave? Do you think they know that?
I think a lot of people don't know that. I think is knowledge, the need to know.
Well, let us
I
enlighten.
think I think the
Yeah.
younger I think younger generation may not know this, but it's a fact. My mom used to work with the statistical department, and this is many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember both she and my dad used to be out all day, um, going around in certain areas, gathering information,
Mm-hmm.
and then have to come home at night and compile the information together and then submit it to the various departments. So it's a lot of work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm just asking people to just bear with them, cooperate with them because it's very
Yes.
important for the government of Barbados. Is how they know how to, as you said, to do the budget. You know, to know how many people out to work and that sort of stuff is a good thing. It's a need to know.
Yeah.
And
And
it's not it happens not only in Barbados, but it happens worldwide. But
yeah.
obviously, each country have their own way of doing things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I understand that some of the patrons, the employees from the census division, are being treated very badly. Some people are closing the doors on their face. Some people are saying, "I ain't got no time for you." And when they're asked, well, okay, if you don't have time now, when is it possible for me to come back? It's just a few questions we want to find out. They say, I got no time for you, so you can't come back. You
Yeah, yeah.
know,
I think too, Mari. COVID has really struck a nerve in a lot of us
mm-hmm,
mentally
mm-hmm,
and psychologically, and it is something which we can't control.
no,
You know, a lot of people out of jobs for over a year, and so it's hard to struggle with prices going up, and So I don't think that people are doing these things intentionally. It's just frustration,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you hear somebody from the government come and talk to you, the first reaction is a negative reaction. So, so I think
Oh.
we have to bear with people, you know, and their emotions nowadays, you
But
know.
you have to, yeah, you still have to be
But
50-50 though. It
but
still has to be
yes,
50-50.
correct, you know. So, but then there are some people who are actually just naturally aggressive like that, you know. So
And
trust me, my mom and dad they told me some stories. Boy, it's crazy. Years ago, man, people slapping doors in your face, and
yeah,
you know,
they want to know if you have a washing machine and a fridge. But
yeah, you know,
you know, and they want to know, well, how much money you make in a month, and you're wondering, wait, these people for real? Why you asking me that? It,
yeah,
I'm not saying that the questions seem very personal, but
yeah. But
it is a
I think they need to know.
necessity. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
necessity because at the end
yeah,
of the day, we now, let me draw a reference. We're Barbadians. We, quote unquote, are in the field of, we would say, being unemployed, semi employed, however you want to put it. But the difficulties we have is the arena we were most comfortable and familiar to, we're no longer in. So we've had to find a different form and means of employ.
yeah,
Yes, granted. Our mentality is to work. Depending if you work for yourself or if you work for somebody else, it is to work. However, you have those individuals coming up behind us, quote unquote, who are not contributing. And if you have to sit and look at how the national insurance is working, now we're going to what people overseas will call social security. If there's nothing going in, and we're talking about us, what's going to happen to the pension when we hit 67 or whatever age it's going to be at or later on?
yeah.
And in the meantime, you have a struggling medical system
Mm-hmm.
because, quote unquote, again, that is free. Mind you, there are certain items you have to pay for.
Gotta pay for. Yeah,
If you go to the hospital, quote unquote, it's free. If you're non national, I understand you have to pay. But
exactly.
the medical system is being drained as well with the fact that we have been hit with something we never would have anticipated. And everyone's expectations are that everything should be free. Now, if it's free, how are we going to pay for it?
Yeah, yeah. I think that's a problem we have here in our society. Everything cannot be free because the government will still got to pay for these things
Mm-hmm.
to administer to you. You know, and the most we can ask is for donations. You know, and if that happens, then yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But nothing in life is free, and the way the world is right now is is hard. You know, so I mean, if you want a free service, yeah, you go to polyclinics, but then obviously the waits are very long, you
But
know,
who
and
paying for that?
the
Charles,
government's also
who's
paying for that
paying for
too.
that? But it's being paid through your money and my money. Because
That's
don't
right.
forget, we would have contributed it. Now, the only
Yeah,
hiccup I have with service from a government institution, especially medical, is that the unfortunate thing, everybody's classed in the same pot. You go for a service because at the point in time you're not able to afford it. Having gone now to the clinic, because you're accustomed going to a doctor and paying $80, if you have insurance, you claim it, right?
correct.
If you have a difficulty, you say, oh Lord, I can't afford that. Let me go to the clinic. Your expectation when you go is that you're going to get service. Not all the
Exactly.
time you get a nice service. There are times when the service is deplorable because then you have the unfortunate aspect of an individual who is from a different environment, and when they go to these areas, the flowery words they use while they're talking to the nurses or the doctor or the security guard, and you're not accustomed to that.
Exactly.
You're gonna go, this is what I'm paying for.
Yeah,
No, it's a
it
fact. It's a fact of
is a
life.
fact.
It's a
It is a
fact of
fact.
life. Do you know if the government had to switch now and say that you have to pay for these services, it would be bedlam in Barbados because they have been trained by the generation before. It free. It is
Yeah,
free. So the
yeah,
acceptable thing is you can go and have 10 million children, none of them are working, but we're gonna pay for them. And Barbadians are happy about it. They're very
yeah.
happy about
They
it.
are. They are.
They've become so complacent that they say, oh, well, that's just how it is. So let's continue.
And
It's a very,
then,
very
and
sad.
then, and then the taxes go up to complain.
But but you can't have it both ways. The people say you can't be in church and chapel at the same time,
Exactly.
you know? So
Yeah.
the society needs to say something about it. Make Well, we have people in charge because we can't go all over the place and talk to the big magoofers. So
Correct.
just like how Mary Clark would get up and tell people, don't be selfish. We want you to do the right thing. Apart from talking about the vaccine, we want Barbadians to realize the importance as citizens, working citizens who have made a contribution to society, that they need to realize at the end of the day, what are we doing here paying for people who aren't contributing anything to society?
Yes.
That's a difficult thing to grab around your brain. So we want
Yeah.
folks to realize they need to step up, make a realization, speak with your representative within your constituency, and I'm sure that they're
Correct.
listening. They're very well listening. The ones who aren't, make them listen. That's the important thing. Make them listen because
Exactly.
use who put the day, as the Bajans would say.
That's right. That's right.
We all have a
So
voice.
use your voice.
Yeah, you all have a voice. You all
Free
have a
free
voice.
speech.
That's right. That's right. Now,
Free speech.
on that note, we all when you work 7 days a week sometimes, but depending on if you're called out when you were at the airport and that kind of stuff or in the office,
I've
it
been there.
came on the news. Now, listen to this one. It came on the news, a 4-day work week in Scotland. Now, we will have to
Afford
move.
the
A 4-day work week in Scotland.
work 4 days, all three.
How do you think that will work in Barbados?
Um, I don't know. I think we want all the money we can get.
And but no, listen,
So
nothing is going to change. Nothing is changing.
yeah.
Nothing is changing. They're gonna be it's a trial. It's a trial, and
So
they're
now if
uh-huh.
so if you got by if you got by holidays, you got 4 days off.
When I saw that this morning, I said, well, I have to bring that one to Charlie. The Scottish
You so
government is
you
being encouraged to lead the way and introduce a 4-day working week for its employees. It's a
so
move that yeah,
you can
go on.
imagine Easter weekend. Easter weekend, you work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Monday, Thursday, and then you're off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Yeah, but this is the article. It's a move that 9 out of 10 Scottish government employees support, with the PCS union saying implementing the changes will show workers there is a better future ahead following the pandemic. According to a poll of 2,000 Scottish government workers, the majority believe they could adapt their working methods to suit a shorter week. It comes as the 4-day week continues to dominant post-pandemic work discussions, with COVID showing businesses their potential to adapt and change. They're also saying this is good for the mental health and health of their employees. Those are the benefits, and it also states that it can increase productivity as well as contentment of their workers.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a trial there in Scotland, and I think here in Barbados, a lot of people get a 4 day week,
Well,
regardless.
I think right now, I think we will leave that for their week in Scotland because right now we have too much to handle with COVID. So leave that alone right now. We don't need any more issues here in Barbados.
Well, I when I saw that, I was like, "Whoa! I gotta bring this one to
We
Charles. Let me see what he
no,
says on that one."
we, no, let's leave that in Scotland right now, and let's deal with the bad at hand, COVID. Let's get these people out of the isolation center. Let's get a
Oh,
good health, and
yes,
let's move forward.
yes, I agree. I agree. A 4 day work week. But listen, you and I can have a 4 day work week anytime.
It's a They had a march here the other day about the vaccine. We don't want any more marches about 4 day weeks. Nah, we don't need that. So
And
you can leave that alone.
listen, the AO, what do you call him? The AOPT, the president of the, oh there, let me get it right. Let me get it right because you know you're quoting this. The chairman of the Alliance Owners of Public Transport, Roy Raphael, is urging patrons that when they go on the ZRs or minibuses, they're asked to wear their mask. He's saying that if the passenger is disobeying the protocol as they ride on the PSVs, it is called for on the spot ticketing of offenders. Now, this apparently is happening in places like St. Vincent, and where's the other country? St. Vincent, I think, and Grenada. Yes,
Okay.
this is a legislation that's been set in Grenada and St. Vincent where persons are ticketed forthwith. If you're not wearing your mask, it's 250 EC dollars. Now,
Wow.
the problem I have is when people are wearing their mask. I need a mask. Anyone can get me a mask here. My producer, let me get a mask. Let me get the small one. So for those who aren't aware what's happening, when people are putting on their mask, this is how they wear it.
Yep.
Okay?
Very true.
Now, the mask, they say, first of all, I hope I put it on right. You're supposed to put it, some people twist it like the ends on the back, like that, I guess,
Yeah.
for support on their ear.
Hmm.
And just so people, the doctor has have an ad on the TV, the part that has the wire is supposed to
So
fit
bit on
here
the nose. Yeah.
so that when you press it, it goes in like that. When you're
Correct.
putting on your mask, you're supposed to put it around your ear, bring it across, and put the other half like that, and make sure that it fits like this under your chin, covers your nose and your mouth.
Yeah.
This is how you're supposed to wear your mask. Well, everybody doing so, like, huh? And then
Yeah.
that
Even
again,
I was seeing ZR drivers for the conductors,
yeah,
wearing a mask under the nose and mouth, and
yes,
I don't know.
yes. So the thing is, they keep asking person, vaccinated or not, wear your mask. I think that was implemented since February of this year. Wear
Yeah.
your mask. Now, some persons may not know. I think one of the nurseries closed over the weekend. Um, I don't recall the name, but a nursery, is it Randall? One of the nurseries closed, obviously because of, and
Yeah.
now the child care board has now made an implementation for the little ones to have to wear masks. Now you
Yeah.
have these masks that are available. You see, these are the kids' masks. If you look carefully, you can see that one is bigger than the other, right?
Correct.
And you have the cloth mask with all the little fancy things, the Elmo and whatever for the kids to wear. Children now on entering public nurseries are now required to wear a mask
Yeah, I
because
think everyone should wear a mask. It's imperative now. I mean,
hmm
the only exception would be babies and toddlers,
yes,
um, but I think children once they reach a certain age, nurseries, well, yeah, toddlers walking and that's 3, 4 years and up, they should be wearing a mask.
well, right now at the nurseries, I can't speak of the private ones, but the
Yeah.
government nurseries are requiring children of age, I think from 3, is it 3? 3, I think they're from 3 to wear a mask. They take it off when they go into the nursery, but that has now
Yeah.
been implemented by the child care board. And some, I can't speak for the others. I can tell you the one where my son attends, Joan Arundel Daycare Nursery, are requiring only 6 persons by the door. And you all and parents have an allotted time to get to the school. So the first
Okay.
slot is at 7:30, the other slot is at 8, and the other slot is at 8:30. And the supervisor has been having a horrendous time with parents not keeping to time, and she's got signs all over the place. But it's imperative that parents respect the staff of the nurseries because they're there to look after your child, but they also need to be
Exactly.
protected. So now they have limited the amount of persons who come into the compound to 6
Hmm.
because what was happening is persons who are supposed to be there for 8 o'clock come at 7:30. Those who are supposed to be
Okay.
there for 8:30 come at 8 o'clock.
Hmm.
So that transition has given them a lot of problems. So we're asking persons, parents or guardians, wherever your child goes to school, to help the staff of the child care board nurseries because they're there for you. And
Exactly.
let's
Correct.
let's make a point on this. A lot of the Barbadians seem to have forgotten that we had a lot of frontline workers who worked straight from March straight down to now. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Some of them didn't even have holidays to now. So you have the security guards, you have the firemen, you have the police, you have the defense force, you have the nurses, you have auxiliary staff. If you didn't have auxiliary staff to clean the areas, the same people I call out wouldn't be able to go to work and work in those environments.
True.
Yeah, a lot of individuals do not respect these individuals and take note that they have been working straight through the pandemic.
Yeah. I think a lot of people. I think a lot of people don't have respect for nurses and, as you said, the nurses at the children at the nurseries because where you have like 10 children, this you got 10 children with 10 different personalities.
Yes,
Then you also have 10 children. Hello,
yes, mm-hmm.
I have a call coming through. Just trying to ignore it here. My apology for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then you have 10 sets of parents with 10 different personalities. But you also have to be mindful of the duties that the nurses have to, um, what they're set to do or they're asked to
Yes,
do, you
yes,
know. And I'm not saying all nurses are are going to be um, apparently showing empathy, that sort of stuff. But
mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, you have to respect their jobs. And if you don't, then how are they going to be able to take care of your children if you don't respect their job?
Ah, that's the difficulty that a lot of people don't realize that
Yeah.
without them, it's like teachers.
Even in the hospital, when my dad was in hospital, I used to, good morning, good afternoon. And you have to be patient with nurses because they're dealing with sick people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you're polite to them, they're going to be polite to you.
Yes,
You know,
definitely.
sometimes people say, "Oh, but she rude," and you have no idea what her day was like. She may be
No.
dealing with people with died or someone who's very sick. The same way you want nurses to show empathy towards you, you have to show empathy towards the nurses. You have to have respect for their jobs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's my takeaway.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that
And I think
totally.
and I think with a nursery, even with school children, even school teachers, we got a class with 35 students. You're dealing with 35 different personalities,
Yes. Uh,
so you know, and the teachers have the children longer than you have the children at home.
correct. That
You
is
have
so
the
true.
teachers have the children from 8 to 3 or 8 to 4, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You take up your children, go home, you spend about 2 3 hours with the kids, go to
Mm-hmm.
bed. Next morning, the routine starts again.
Yeah.
So you have to show some sort of empathy towards the teachers and nurses.
Definitely. Because they're the ones who help parents to
Correct. Yeah.
model an individual in society. Because without them, as parents, we
As
would have a
parents,
very hard time. So
that's
they help
correct.
they help us to model our children. And funny enough, we as parents would know the little ones as babies, but when we have to hand them over to those individuals who look after our children, they're the
Yeah.
ones who come and tell us, oh well, Susie is so and Bo is this way. And you would say, really? But he don't do that at home. But
The thing
then
is that you think a child may do things at the nursery or school, and they are the most shocked parent knowing that the child behave that way at home.
and they and they give the parent all the gurkle,
Yeah,
but they
yeah,
don't give their aunties and the teachers the gurkle.
yeah.
So
If
I
you
know
should
what you
say,
mean.
yeah, Jonathan, he was a nice boy at school. He was very quiet, very cooperative,
Quiet,
very
cooperative.
helpful.
What?
Cooperative? Well, home he hard.
You can't get him to take the garbage out.
And Jonathan at school, carry garbage, walk down the chalkboard and everything.
Yes.
At home,
Can't get him to
different
clean his
story.
room.
Then there's the flip side. Then there's the flip side.
Hmm.
Child at home, well behaved.
Hmm.
Gone to school, he's a riot boy. Interfere
Totally
with
different.
everybody.
Totally different. I know. I know.
And I
I
think
know.
I think I think as adults, if we look back at our childhood, I think we've been that way too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was. I
You
was young.
know,
I didn't
you
have
know.
that
I
Jekyll and Hyde.
I always said I was a quiet boy growing up, but I was told otherwise.
Well, I
I
was
was
always
I was
quiet.
my mom used to tell me, "Where's Charles? Where's Charles?" When I let Charles cross the road, neighbors calling neighbors, Charles, come home now.
Well, I didn't have. I
but
didn't have that opportunity.
but it's a natural for a child, But you know, a child have to have fun, have their friends and that sort of stuff, And but there are some children who are overbearing sometimes. I think that some parents don't discipline the children well enough, especially when they're out in places that you expect them to behave a certain way,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know. So yeah,
I think you have to commend parents who right now, you spoke about it earlier this morning, who are having issues, and their mental health is a big issue. We as parents have mental health issues, and we have to realize that sometimes you need to talk it out with somebody else so that you don't feel as if you're the only body experiencing that. Because
Correct.
I know for me, it was a challenge. And as you said, everything has changed because of this pandemic, and you had to adjust and try to do everything differently. So, things like that, we really, really, really need to think about the parents as well, because a lot of them too are having challenges right now. And
Yeah,
in
because
fact,
there are some households where only one parent is working. I can confess to that. I mean, I have worked now for over a year, and my wife, she's been in foundation. She has been amazing,
yeah,
and the one household bringing one person bringing this the salary, but it used to be two.
correct.
It is hard, and I think for us, we are Christians.
Hmm.
We believe in God. We live in God's hands. I'm not saying every day it's not going to be a bad day. You get some good days, you get some bad days, but the bad times is just frustration, and once we have each other's back, we're there for each other, we're there to comfort each other. I think as a family, you have to come together,
Yes.
and be there for each other. And once you have that, you're good, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we pray every day, and is important we pray. And as a couple, we pray together, and things work out.
Yeah.
But it is a struggle. It's hard. I know there are a lot of hope souls in Barbados, especially that crying out. But once you have an understanding relationship, you're
Hmm.
committed to each other, and there's love,
Hmm.
understanding,
Hmm.
things will work out.
Yeah.
I am at home, and I try to be a housewife.
Yeah.
I clean, I cook when she comes home, make sure there's a meal there for her. You know, I make sure she gets ready for work next morning.
Hmm.
You have to try and make your partner that is supporting you as comfortable as possible, in my opinion.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because you can't leave that burden on them.
Hmm.
If it's a husband or a wife that's supporting you, you got to be there for them. And I think
Yeah.
that's very important.
Valid point. Very valid point.
But importantly, God above, He will
Yeah.
never forsake you.
Amen. Hmm.
So I think whoever your partner is, be supportive, be there for them, and you'll get through it. You
One
know,
of our, I'm not sure if you're seeing the comments. One of the comments here says, LOL, housewife Charles.
I hear you.
LOL, housewife Charles.
That's right, housewife Charles. Yeah, I love to clean, man. I love to clean, man. Woo. And then when I was away at church and cake also, my wife used to send me recipes on to cook, so that I could cook. I had to cook, so I said to her, "Hun, when I come back home to Barbados, I'll be cooking."
Okay, you go. You go, Charlie.
So, so she comes home, she have her cup of tea or whatever,
Hmm.
and food
Hmm.
comes.
Yeah.
So I make sure she's happy,
Yeah.
you know. When she turn on the morning, I wake up, coffee there waiting for her,
I hope you.
So
I hope Charles, you told Samantha to watch you because you could get into trouble if you say the wrong thing here.
I trust me, I didn't say the wrong thing. I'm not saying the wrong thing. I say all the right things that are true.
So make sure
I should,
Samantha, make sure Samantha has
yeah.
grabbed this show this morning.
Well, I hope so. I want, but I will make sure she sees
Yes.
it.
Yes. I hope so. Now I
No,
don't
but
want to
I,
go.
I,
Uh huh. Go ahead.
I personally feel, I think families need to come together in a time like
Mhm.
this.
Yes.
You know, as I said before, if your husband or your wife out work and you're home, make sure when you come home, you make them feel loved and wanted.
Yes.
And make sure the kids are taken care of. Because right now we're living in a time where 2 years ago we would expect to be in this position.
Oh, definitely
You
not.
know,
Definitely not.
so things have changed drastically over the last year and a half, and I think it shows that we have to be stronger. You
Hmm.
know, gotta be stronger. So
That is
to the
so
person
true.
who said LOL, housewife Charles. Yep, housewife Charles, man, housewife Charles.
This is one of our followers. So the folks who usually follow the show on mornings are actually on. And I think they're liking the camaraderie and the way how we have paired ourselves for the show this morning. Now, I don't want to bring a sad note, but we want to, which is something we would talk on another show, and we've had it here on the show previously, is domestic violence. And we want to remember the young lady, um, Keisha Mitchell, and her mother, Janice Mitchell, who died from their injuries in the fire that took place in Chapman's Lane
Oh yeah,
in
that was very
July.
very sad.
Yes, very, very
Yeah,
sad. Her 1 year old is still in recovery in Barbados, and we want to send our heartfelt condolences to her um, and her family. They both were laid to rest on Friday, and it's not something you want to, you know, harp on or delve into, but it is something that we will have the opportunity to talk about again. One of our previous guests was Lizelle Daisley on the show, and we did talk about domestic abuse and that kind of stuff. And it is sad to
yeah.
see that this is still going on in Barbados, and I don't think the individuals anticipated the turnout of this incident itself. But we
You know,
want
it
to
it must
go
be
ahead.
me because it must be me because I have never hit anybody besides a child, slap a child for misbehaving.
Hmm.
And I can't see why a man has to slap a woman, beat a woman, or vice versa. It doesn't prove anything at any day. We all have our disagreements, yes, but you deal with it maturely. But this domestic violence thing is just crazy.
Yeah, it's very, very, very sad. And the
It's
sad part
very
about
very
it
sad.
is that,
Sorry, cross you. And then
uh-huh,
it brings in the kids. The children are then suffers.
right, yes, yes,
And this child that is left with no mother and grandmother, what's going to happen? You
oh,
know,
really
this
breaks
is
your
just
heart.
sad.
Yeah,
You don't know what kind of state the child's going to be when she begins to mature. You don't know what bodily effects the child may have scars on the skin, whatever.
yeah,
And people and children, when children see these things but do not understand, and then they insult the children, and that hurts.
yeah.
You know.
It's very, very
So,
sad.
please, man, please, just leave the kids out of this thing, man.
It's very sad. Very,
It's
very
very
sad.
sad.
Yeah. So again, we give our condolences to the Mitchell family and pray that, you know, um, that the young one is consoled and well taken care of. Hopefully, they would not be part of the problem, and that there will be a light at the end of the tunnel for that 1 year old someday, at some point. Now, I noticed, not sure if you had a chance to read about it, the sanitation service is going to be rolling out a new method of collection coming soon. Um, and I think we really now have to really start looking at greening. I don't know if you got to see Sunday's paper, yesterday's paper.
No, I didn't see it. No.
Stephen Shepard and his wife came up with a creative way to recycle PET bottles. The owners of Marcy's Bar in Dublin Road, Western St. James, are using them to enhance the visual appeal of their business. Shepard said it was
Well, I
not
think I saw
labor
that.
intensive, yeah, explaining he used a soldering iron to bore holes at the bottom of the bottles and covers and used corks to place them around the bar. His wife said the idea came to her one night in a dream. Shepard showing off the section of the bar. Look at that.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that on was it on Instagram, the Nation, something? Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that's
I
very
think it
creative, actually.
I think that's very creative and it shows that they are also playing their part in trying to protect the environment because
And actually, go ahead.
yes. No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Actually, when the pandemic first started, a lot of persons in Barbados started growing their own stuff, getting cans and cutting it in half and growing their vegetables.
And then I can get my okra seeds.
Yes.
You couldn't get no seeds. There
you
were no
know,
seeds.
but then I went to the this place up by the airport, the development, the national park there by the airport, and really this place sells the drums.
Hmm.
And he said, "Sir, what I would normally sell in 3 years, he sold in 3 weeks."
Wow. You see?
But I say that to say this: my wife came across this thing on Facebook where people are using the Banks Bear cases
Uh-huh.
to grow stuff. Because the cases
Really?
have the bomb, you have the sections, and then you have
Uh-huh.
the bomb is, yeah, they put the soil in it, and then they grow the stuff in it.
Wow. But that's recycling, Charles. They're
I'm being
recycling
very, I'm being
being very
creative.
creative at the same time. Yes,
Yep,
yes.
yep, yep,
But we all
yep.
have had
So
to we all had to go back to our backyard gardens.
yeah, yeah, I think we have to. I think we
Yeah,
have to.
yeah.
So I have to go now and start looking for empty drink cases. I
I
try,
love it.
I try, I try to bring my housewife skills into action.
Well, oh my God, there you go again with your housewife skills. There you go again with your housewife skills.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I know that it is something a lot of Barbadians have now undertaken. When you drive
Yeah,
around the island, you're seeing a lot of people have their gardens growing okras, tomatoes, corn. Well, I have basil, I had corn, I had okras, I had tomatoes, I had all those. And,
yeah,
it's nice to see when people are realizing what the cost of food is like. Now,
yeah. It is expensive.
they're already complaining about the hike on chicken feed. And I think other feed are going to go up as well. So people who were growing chickens, obviously now you will buy a whole chicken for 12, $15 is going to go up, quote unquote. I could be wrong,
Twenty
to
dollars.
$20. So
Yeah,
a lot of those things people are going to be looking at. So some people are saying, oh, but you can't grow chickens and you can't grow pigs in your backyard. I think you gotta wait and see. A lot of people are going to start doing that because the
yeah. It's
prices in the supermarket have gone up.
yeah. Because I was somewhere a couple weeks ago, and I heard this guy. He raises chickens and turkeys, and he said he normally buy a bag of feed. I think it was 40 something dollars for a bag for his chickens.
Mhm.
It's now gone up to 60 something dollars. And
Ooh.
then he said he now buys feed for turkeys, and his bag is down nearly $100. So he said he can't sell a chicken less than $20 now.
Mm. Look at
So
that. That's a hard
yep,
thing, huh? That's very,
that is
very
correct.
hard. So
Yep,
I have to encourage my brothers and sisters out there. There's nothing wrong with you getting your tomatoes growing in your back, your cucumbers in the back, your squash, your pumpkin, you know. And as you said, drink cases you can use to make your garden. Some people, I think on the news the other day, they talked about the tires that are going to be used for recycling because
yeah,
Barbados is a very small country and
yeah.
we
My
have
mom,
to
she loves a
find
garden.
yeah, we have to find ways and means of recycling in Barbados. And I pray that SSA is going to come up with a program when they're going to do collection for paper, collection for metal, collection for plastic, because we're being billed on our water bill, right?
Yeah,
And they used to come through places twice a week. Now they only come in once a week, and sometimes
yeah,
not at all, depending on where you
correct,
live, that is. So
exactly.
I think they really have to revamp and look at the ways of helping us to recycle. There's nothing wrong with teaching us. We used to do it years ago. A lot of people don't
Correct.
realize it. When people had the old tots, they used to use the tots for something. Water to pour over the plant. Dig some hole,
Yeah,
get a ice pick and dig holes in it and throw water. If it was a plastic butter tot, they used it for containers to put the flour, the salt, the seasonings in, and you used to see it back in the cupboard. And when they start to go old, that's when they would throw it out and use a new butter tot. I wrong, Charles?
that's right.
That's what they used to do. So we
That's
need
correct.
to sit down and talk within our communities to see how best we can help to save our environment. You know.
And
Now, go ahead.
just to say that information that Mary just asked me about, I hear so. I'm not that old. I'm still a young person.
Ah, don't, don't fool those people out there.
I
Don't go
I
out there
heard so.
fooling those people.
I'm still a young person. I heard so.
Now, listen. In well, in our day, and for those folks who might not know, Charles Thorne had a nickname, and I think we used to call him Charlie Brown. And for some reason, that popped into my mind this morning. I said, "Oh God, Charlie Brown." I think Charlie Brown was a cartoon. Was it a cartoon?
Yep. It was actually there were actually uh a couple of guys I used to work with at the airport called me Charlie Brown. So
Charlie
I don't
Brown.
know. Charlie Brown.
Now
Charlie
listen,
Brown.
before we go, have you been following athletics or you're not into athletics?
Um Not particularly, only when it's Olympics.
Okay. Well, we still on the back burner of the Olympics with
I'm more motorsports like Formula One and lawn tennis.
oh well we won't talk about lawn tennis this morning because I realized that my girl Osaka has pulled out um, from the tournament due to
But
mental problems.
yeah, mental fatigue
Yeah,
is,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think, is that's only being now being mentioned now more so than ever, because um, I think reporters and sponsors don't realize, especially at a young age, because a lot of these superstars now are between what 17 and 25,
Yes, yes, they're very young. They're very
and
young. She's
they're,
23.
yes, yeah, and they're very talented. They win tournaments, but they have now been exposed to this sort of um, exposed to this sort of you know being out there in this wide world, being seen as a superstar. Look at
Hmm.
that girl Simone Biles from the U.S. Gymnastic team. I mean, she pulled out too because I think it was injury also, but I think she also had mental fatigue.
Yeah, yeah. Now let's take a little piece, a short piece of what she said, so folks would realize she was really. I could see in her face that she was having a hard time. and she actually nearly broke down. I think she did. I, I
The pressure, the pressure, the pressure.
yeah, yeah. I think she really, really had a hard time, and
Yeah.
she has a love for the game, but she doesn't, or I don't think she expected the amassed media coverage that she would be getting, knowing that she's at this level as a professional tennis player. And the other girl, Sheena, forgot her name now. She also spoke about the abuse. She received over 2,000 negative reviews on social media,
Hmm.
and it's all of these individuals are human beings, and you see this COVID, this has hit people home with mental health issues,
Yeah.
underlying health issues, mental health issues, which we really and truly need to talk about. It has been well hidden. People have found different means and negative ways of handling mental health, and we need to talk
Hmm.
about it more to help others, including myself. I can attest to that. It's a very difficult time, and for me, as I have told many persons, this forum has really helped me along the way to truly and really, make myself happy and
Yeah.
think differently. So I want to leave the final words for Charles if he has anything to say or add before we go.
No. I think we had a pretty good show this morning. I think we touched on a lot of stuff today.
Hmm.
It was fun. It's my first time ever doing this, so uh, I hope your listeners bear with me. But I actually had fun this morning.
Yes.
Thanks to Mari. I've known Mari now for quite some time.
Yes.
You
Many
know,
years.
so many years ago. I'm still very young. I keep saying that. What you see here is a great day. You know. you know. But yeah, I had fun this morning. I really really had fun this morning. You know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, we want the folks to know we're going to be having a travel corner coming up, and we're also going to have our at the crease with cricket, and we also will be having our own tracking, trashing, or talking track. Sorry, talking track. We had our own Captain Michael Jules on the show some time back, and we're going to be having some more folks on talking about athletics. So those are a lot of things we're going to be coming up. So don't forget, folks, we're going to be having the travel corner. We're going to be having at the crease, which talks about cricket, and we're going to be having talking track, which talks about athletics. And
we we we
throw,
we need to include a sports section. You know, like cricket, athletics, Formula One. You know, yeah.
well, you can have the Formula One, but you're going to have a sports session. That's no
That's
problem with
what's
that
up.
at all. But one thing we want the folks to know that we are and we have rebranded. We're still in the process of putting things together. We ask folks to continue to follow us on Facebook, like our page, visit and watch us
And
on
send in your
YouTube.
comments.
Send in
Send your
your
comments.
comments, and it's not about mental health now. We like the critique. If you see something or hear something that's not right, you make it right for us. We'll correct it on the next show. And we always advise the folks to click on your like button on YouTube, subscribe so that when we come on the next time, you won't miss our show. And folks, we always tell you, remember, I showed you this morning, wear your mask, sanitize, social distance, and remember, call a friend, tell them how much you love them. You haven't seen them for a while and you miss them. Folks, we love you. We expect that you have a wonderful week and see you next week. Bye bye.
Bye.